Hey, hi. Welcome to Pilates. We are going to get started dusting the sand off of my mat from yesterday, laying on the back. Sad ball is going to go between or behind your head, and a yoga block, forgive me for not having my props handy, will go in between the inner thighs. You can either have it, it's going to be skinny side, but either long or short is fine. Okay, so make sure that your chin is slightly tucked, so that way the spine is in neutral. Soles of the feet are on the floor, palms face down. You just take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Seeing where the air goes. Just getting ready to start the day. Now go ahead and bring your hands onto your belly. Slight squeeze of that brick in between the inner thighs, starting to wake up the pelvic floor. Big inhale through the nose, filling your belly up like a balloon. Belly button up towards the ceiling. Exhale, blowing all the air out your mouth like you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake pre-COVID. Belly button towards spine. Just inhaling and exhaling like that. Feeling the stomach rising up towards the ceiling. Seeing how big you can make it. Exhaling, blowing all the air out like 2 more. Spine is in neutral. You can slide your hand or finger or blueberry underneath. Now move your hands to frame the rib cage, 4 fingers wrapped around the front, thumbs around the back. Keep squeezing on that brick. You're going to keep that belly button in towards the spine, direct the breath into the rib cage. Pulling wide like an accordion. Exhaling like you're shrink wrapping, putting a corset on, pair of jeans too tight. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Feeling your fingertips pull towards one another. 2 more. Last one. Take your hands and make them into a triangle with your thumb sitting just below the belly button, fingers resting on top of the pubic bone. You're going to flatten out that space underneath your low back belly button in towards the spine as you exhale. Inhale till your pelvis back into neutral. So imagine you're trying to balance a bowl of water or a martini glass. You don't want to let one drop spill, but you're on a cruise. And this is an imaginary Pilates world, by the way. And you are at sea and the boat is rocking, so you are tilting, curling those hips up underneath you, belly button in towards spine, keeping that engagement, that squeeze on the brick in between your legs, scissoring those inner hip points together as you try to balance your drink. One more just like that. Abs should be on fire right now. Good, and return to neutral. Take the brick out from in between your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Give a little rock from side to side. Release the sacrum. Legs are going to come into tabletop. Knees stacking over hips. Take your hands and place them against your hip bones and your thighs, so that way you can tell whether or not you're making an L shape, right? So you'll see the crease of your wrists. And then from here, point through the toes. Palms are going to come to press down, and you're going to drop your right toes towards the ground, keeping that L shape in the legs. Belly button is still pulling in towards the spine. And then the left side. Alternating back and forth here. Keep the shoulders rolling down the back. right? Don't let them hike up by the ears. Good. Now, if this ball underneath your neck feels uncomfortable, go ahead and take it out. Place your head on the floor. If you feel like you've got this, go ahead and raise your arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another. Good. This is going to change the stability, right? Make it a little more difficult. One more from side to side. And hug your knees into your chest. Give a little rock from side to side. Ball is going to come out from behind your head. Feet are going to come down to the floor. You're going to lift your hips up and you're going to place that ball underneath your sacrum. Okay? Now, I like to have my hands face up so that way the shoulders can stay plugged in. It helps a lot for stability. Abs in tight. Make sure that ball is on the flat part, right? So it's not on the cheeks and it's not in that curve of the low back. Inhale, exhale your right leg up into tabletop. Inhale, exhale your leg up into left leg up into tabletop and pause. All right, so we're going to do that same thing, but this time we have that little instability underneath. So move slow, right? Imagine that you are cutting through peanut butter with your legs that someone, or seed butter that someone left in the refrigerator for some unknown reason, right? So it's really thick and you want to move really slow to help with the balance and make sure that you are keeping those abs in tight, lifting up through the pelvic floor. Good. Another 4. Good. Keep the L shape, keep pointing through the toes. Inhaling as you lower, exhaling to bring the leg back up into tabletop. Last one here. And give a little squeeze of the hip flexors, and then feet come back down to the floor. Okay. Right leg up into tabletop on an inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale your left leg up into tabletop. Squeeze those legs together. Pointing through the toes. As you inhale, extend your legs away from you on a long diagonal. You're going to lower them an inch, raise them an inch, and then pull your legs back in. Keep your tail pressing down into the ball, right? Rib cage wrapping in. You're just moving your legs a teeny bit. It's almost an invisible movement. Shoulder blades pressing down. And one more here. I know this one's challenging. Legs pull back in. Feet come down to the floor. Go ahead, lift your seat up. Take the ball out from underneath you. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Excellent. Take your mini band. Go ahead and place it around the thighs, about 2 inches above the knee. Oh, my other one. Give it a little bit harder, right? So you want a light to medium band, depending on how long you have been here. And we're going to use this for a little bit now. So bring the soles of your feet to the floor, knees pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, we're going to transition into a tabletop after a little bit of glute work on our back. So keep pressing your thighs out into the band. Lift your hips up. Good. Knees pointing straight ahead. I want you to drag your heels energetically back towards you. Feel those hamstrings starting to activate. Now you want to get your shoulder blades down. Keep that rib cage in. So it's like you're making a slope from your knees to your neck. And then from here, you're going to pulse out on the band and then bring your legs back to parallel. So it's a tiny movement, not dropping through the hips, not letting that big toe ball now leave the floor, right? Think about reaching your fingertips towards your heels, actively keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another. Engage through the abdominals. Roll down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, trying to make your spine as long as possible. Release back into neutral. Take an inhale. Exhale, let it go. Lift your hips up on an inhale. Right leg extends, knees in the same line, pointing through the right toes. Try not to roll onto or towards one side or the other, but keep it nice and centered. So find the plug through that big left toe. Now from here, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're only moving the right leg, right? So you're really going to feel this in the left glutes, left hamstrings group. We're only at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and find center. Good. From here, you're going to lift your leg up towards the ceiling and then knees back in the same line. So imagine that you're painting a stripe on the ceiling with your big toe. Good. Keeping that separation through the knees. Don't worry, we're going to get a break before the next side. And knees come back to parallel, right foot comes down. We're going to roll down through the spine, bringing that belly button in. Nice big exhale back into neutral. Give that left butt cheek a little bit of a knock. All right, opposite side. Hips lift up, squeezing through the glutes. Reset, drag those heels back in space towards your butt. Extend through the left leg so that way your knees are in line. Good. Now, abducting, right? Opening through the side. Keep those shoulder blades plugging down. Find the big toe ball mount of your right foot. Keep it plugging in. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and at center, you're going to lift that leg up towards the ceiling and then back down so that way the knees are in the same line. So you're going from like about 90 to 45 degree angle. Keep pushing into that tripod of the right foot. Keep squeezing your butt, lifting your hips up, abs are engaged. Last one here. And left foot down, rolling down through that spine. Give that right butt cheek a little bit of a knock. Okay, coming on to your right side, you're going to set your heels, hips, shoulders, and head all in one line, coming onto your, what do we call this? Forearm, your right forearm, right? So you want to make sure that your shoulder is stacked over the elbow. Good. Knees are going to be in front of the hips. Rib cage is pulling in, right? We're not flaring, we're not arching through the back, but we're nice and contained. All right, so you're going to lift your left knee up. Good. Keep pressing into that right forearm, making as much space as you can, as much length through that left side body. Now from here, in that open position, you're going to bring your knees back together to kiss, pointing through the toes, and then bring your heels together. Good, right? So it's a little, you're going to lose that tension on the band for a second. Good. Little good girl, bad girl. Finding that rotation through the hip, right? You can feel it almost as if you're turning a doorknob in the socket. Good. Last one. Good. Now, from here, your knees are open. You keep finding length through the sideways. You're just going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and give that butt cheek a little bit of a knock. I know we need it. You're going to come right around to the other side before we come into that tabletop position. So again, setting up, knees are going to be in front of that line of the body, heels hips and shoulders, head, right? You can see that I'm making a nice long line. My elbow is underneath my shoulder. And now right knee is going to turn up and out. Hold, and then bring those knees together to kiss. And then your heels. Knees, and then heels, right? So it's a little good girl, bad girl. Good. Excellent. Keep finding length through the bottom side waist for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold with it open, with your knees open. Good, you're just gonna pulse here. Right, little extra burn. Try not to turn out towards that hip, right? You wanna keep them stacked, so keep that top hip rolling forward, that bottom rib cage lifting up and in, and knees together. Give your right butt cheek a little bit of a nose. All right, we're gonna slide this band down just a teeny bit, okay? So, coming in to a quadruped position now. So your knees are going to be underneath your hips. Your shoulders are going to stack over your wrists. You are making like a triangular pattern with your hands and your vision here. Okay, so I'm going to just move that the tiniest bit. All right, press into your palms, lift up out through the shoulders, belly button in up towards the spine. We're just going to do something for the shoulders here and the wrist before we move into a little bit more work. So you're going to keep your arms straight, drop your shoulder blades together, right? Feel like you're pulling your heart through the center of your arms, and then press into your palms, puff up through the back side of the chest, right? So everything is staying still. I'm just moving, feeling like my shoulder blades are wrapping around my rib cage, right? So it might be the tiniest sensation. Puffing up through the backside body, not rounding, you're not tucking your tail, you're not moving any other part of your spine. Good, right? So toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever's easiest for you to keep your shoulders stacked over your wrist here. Good, now find that nice neutral position, so that midway, right? So you're not collapsing into the shoulders, but you're pressing and you kind of feel like you're even across the backside of the body. You're gonna take your wrists or your hands and you're gonna spin them around so that way your wrists face forward and your fingertips face towards your thighs. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna sit your hips back towards your heels with a long spine. Keep the heel of the hand pressing into the floor, right? So only go as far as you can keep your arms straight, right? Soften the elbows, don't lock out. Nice long spine. And then pull forward. Good. And then we're going to kind of go the other way just to make sure that we can get that sensation of the heel of the hand pressing down, pinky fingers pressing down, thumbs pressing down, creating more space. This is really great for, when we sit all day at our computers and we're working, because that's what life is right now, isn't it? And then come back forward. Take your hands the normal way. If you untucked your toes, go ahead and tuck them. Good. And now you're going to press into your hands. Exhale, lift your belly button up towards your spine. Lift your knees off the ground 2 inches. Step your right foot back as wide as your mat, and your left foot back as wide as your mat. Good. And then you're going to step your feet so that way you maintain tension in the band. You're going to walk your knees forward so that way they're underneath your hips, and then you're going to make that A-frame triangle again, right? So then we're coming into a plank. We're working those obliques. We're not going to be here for very long, stepping out the width of the mat into that plank, right? So feet are closer together, but there's still tension. When we're in the plank, we're pressing into those hands, right? We're not letting our hips rock from side to side. The body's not rocking from side to side. This is the last one. Good. Set your knees down. Seat to heels. Take a second. Right? It's crazy. All right. Little more work here. So you're going to take the band off from your wrists. I just told you where we were going. You're going to take it and put it on your wrist. Now, if you had a heavier band, you're definitely going to want to switch to a lighter band, okay? So it's going to be a little bit of work for the shoulders. We're going to be stationary, but I promise that we're going to take breaks. So we're going to come back into that quadruped position. We're going to kind of combine some butt and shoulders, and then we're going to move into the upper body, a little bit of core, and then we'll probably be done. Cool? Great. All right, so you're going to take that sad ball and you're going to place it behind your right knee and come back into that quadruped position. Now, this is very simple, but there's going to be tension on the band. You're going to lift your right heel, your right heel. You're going to squeeze it in towards your butt, okay? Now, you can see that I am actively pulling my hands apart right there underneath my shoulders, heeling towards the butt on that right leg, right? So that way we're going to be a little bit more hamstrings and glutes here, okay? You're going to turn your right knee out towards the side, and you're going to bring your knee forward, and then wrapping on that diagonal as much as you can. But I don't want you to turn your hips. I want you to keep your hips nice and square, right? So only move in that range of motion, that you don't change the rotation through the hip. Belly button is pulling up towards the spine. This is a whole lot of things going on here. Last one, moving in that diagonal pattern. Ooh, let that go. I know that's a mean one. All right, so now you get a little bit of a break. And what did Nika say? And all right, so going behind the left knee now, same exercise, and heel towards the butt. Maybe you find like you get a little bit of a cramp on one side, that's okay. Let it go, set your knees, okay? Rotate through that left hip, right? So your knee is gonna be out towards the side. Left knee comes towards the elbow, and then on that diagonal, sweeping back. Wrap your hips forward and down. You're gonna feel this, crossing the whole body. Good, keeping the shoulders in the same line, right? If your right shoulder starts to come forward, pull it back away from the ears. And sweeping that knee forward one more time, and let it go. All right. Setting that off to the side. Go ahead and come sit tall on your sit spots. All right. Take your magic circle, everyone's favorite. Feet are gonna plug into the floor. Palms facing one another, so that way the heel of your hand, your fingertips are gonna point forward, and the heel of your hand is straight forward, okay? So abs are nice and tight. You're gonna keep that engagement through your fingers. Roll back into a C curve on that tailbone, good. Keep pressing in with your palms. You're gonna lift your biceps in line with your ears, and then back down. Come up with a nice tall spine, okay? So keep that engagement, keep pressing into your palm. Don't let the shoulders come up here, right? So only move, when you move your arms, right? If this is all you can do, then that's fantastic, right? Keep looking through the center of that magic circle. Biceps come up in line with the ears. Good. Keep the feet pressing down into the floor. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling. If you're shaking, that's okay. Next time you roll back, you're gonna stay. You're gonna rotate towards your right side, keeping your wrists in line with your shoulders. Inhale back through center, come up. Exhale, roll back, rotate towards your left. Notice that I'm not like way over here. My arms are staying in line with my shoulders, right? So it's really about the rotation through the thoracic spine here. Giving ourselves that little break, pulling the rib cage in, rolling back, and take a rest. Roll over your legs. Just let it dangle, let the neck go. Inhale and exhale. Now we're gonna kind of combine those tubes, right? So there's gonna be the rotation with the arm raise, okay? So you might find a more limited range of motion as you raise your arms overhead. Good, so exhale, round through the low back. Rotate, biceps come in line with the ears. Back through center. Inhale up. Exhale, back. Rotate, pulling that left shoulder back even more. Biceps raising in line with the ears. Come back to center and lift up. Good. Twice more to each side. Keep that belly button pulling in towards the spine. Keep scissoring your inner hip points together. You can take the block or the sad ball and place it in between your legs if that gives you that sense that you're really engaging through that pelvic floor, right? So it's going to help support you. Last one from side to side. And come through center. Set that go. Let it go. Excellent. Okay. Next, yay, we're gonna do a little bit of ab work. All right, so you're gonna need your bumpy ball. You're gonna need your saddle. Where did it go? Actually, let's start with just the bumpy ball for now, shall we? So clearing the props off to the side that we're not gonna use. You're gonna come again onto your back. Well, not onto your back. Your feet are gonna come towards the floor, knees bent, soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. You want to place the ball right underneath your bra strap, right? So the higher up it is on your back, the easier it's gonna be to get your shoulder off. Now, the lower down it is, the harder it's gonna be. So you wanna find a happy medium because we are gonna be working an extension. So feel like that center of the ball is placed right underneath the bra strap. Interlace your fingers at the base of the skull, right? That way your thumbs are up down, you're making a cradle for your head. So elbows are wide and a W, shoulder pulling down away from the ears. Really feel that area, around the armpit starting to charge and activate. You're gonna inhale, extend back over the ball, keeping wide through the elbows, right? You're drawing them together. Exhale, curl up as high as you can. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl, right? So your tail is rooted down. Feet are rooted down. Inhaling, finding as much space in the upper back as you can. Now it's first thing in the morning, maybe for some of you, depending on where you are. So, you'll be a little bit stiffer through the spine. So you're getting a little nice massage. And hold at the top. Good. The right leg comes into tabletop, left leg comes into tabletop. I want you to squeeze your legs together. You're going to stay curled up. You're going to tap your toes down, keeping your legs in an L shape. And then knees come back over hips, right? Everything is on fire right now. You can hear my voice shaking. You can see me shaking. I just had to pull my shoulder blades down. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Leave your feet down on the floor. Roll a little bit down, give yourself a little bit of a massage. Yes. All right. Take a little shimmy shake through the shoulder, right? Clear out that space through the chest. And again, interlace your hands behind your head. Move that ball back into the proper position if you slid down too far in that last one. Okay, lift your right leg up into tabletop. Lift your left leg up into tabletop. Good. Keep your right leg where it is. Extend the left leg long, right? So you're making one leg is on a long diagonal. You're going to rotate through the torso. Good. Think about that hip to armpit connection. You're holding here, right? Good. You're going to switch your legs in space. Come back through center. Opposite leg goes out long. Left knee is pulling in towards the chest. Rotate towards the left side and hold. Keep that belly button pulling in towards the spine. Switch the legs once, nice and slow, cutting through peanut butter. Opposite side, back through center. Both knees in, both legs out. Both knees in, rotate towards your right. Good. Extend through the left leg. Inhale back through center as you switch your legs in space. Good. We're going to be moving through that. I want you to meet in the center every time. I know this is tough, 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 tough. Good. Last one from side to side. And good. Knees in and up. Just roll, fold over your legs. Take a breath. Woo! Spicy abs today. All right. So, bumpy ball is going to come off towards the side. I know this is going to get a little bit spicy. You're going to take your magic circle and you're going to place it in between your thighs. Okay. Right, so if this is too much for you, you can do this with your bumpy ball, right? So you're going to step back into a plank position, shoulders are stacked over wrists. Okay, so you might need to do some adjusting, right, of where that is, but you're using your thighs, wrapping in. Good. And then if you have sliders, you're going to place your feet on the sliders, and you're going to let yourself come back, and then you're going to use your abdominals. We're just going an inch, right? So we're not moving very far at all. Making sure, oh, I'm losing it. All right, so it looks like we're going for the bumpy ball, right? So big squeeze here, sliding back in space, zipping forward, shoulders stacking over your rib. So a little serratus action. Keep your armpits wrapping in. 2 more. I know this is super tight. Abs are on fire. Knees down. Keep that ball between your legs. Keep squeezing. Come into a tall kneeling position. Grab your magic circle now. We're going to make this work. Okay, so squeeze your booty. Toes are tucked or untucked, whatever you can do to help keep your hips forward, right? So if your toes are untucked, you're plugging the top sides of the feet down into the floor. Take the magic circle, extend your arms. Out in front of you, shoulders and wrists are in the same line. Vision is through the center of the magic circle. But you're going to keep pressing with your hands. You're going to pull your elbows back in line with the rib cage. Keep going till that magic circle is at touching the body, right? Shoulders stay down away from the ears. Keep pressing as you extend. Constant tension here. Good. Squeeze the butt. Abs are nice and tight. Moving nice and slow. Right? Keeping those fingertips pointing forward. Imagine that energy is shooting through, right? No long pause at the end. For 3. Last 2. Keep squeezing that butt. Don't forget about it. Last 1. And set that down. Okay. Come into a half kneeling position.
Right foot is forward, right? So I'm in a 90-90. We call this like a little proposal position. Hips are going to be square. Okay? So, beginners, we're going to be on our back knee. If you're feeling a little spicy and you know you can hold this rotation the whole time, you're going to lift your back knee up off the floor. So maybe we can go halfway, right? So we'll do a few reps in with our knees down, right? So you're going to keep that tension, right? Notice I'm not turning, I'm not behind. So it's wherever you can keep. This isn't more thoracic rotation now. We're just kind of involving everything in our kinetic chain, right? So I'm not letting my right hip pull forward. I'm wrapping back. Hands are outside of the hips. And I'm going to keep my arms moving on in orbit, right? Nice rotation, looking, right? So it might look different for you. You might be able to rotate more through that mid-spine. Exhaling on that diagonal. Keep also pressing your right knee towards its same side. Don't let it come in through the toes, right? So everything is nice and active. Glutes are engaged. Shoulders are pulling down away from the ears. One more here. Then we're going to lift that back knee to hover. Good, good. So engage the abs, lift up through that back knee. Any point, you can put that back knee down. Keep finding the big toe on that front foot. One more. Excellent. Back knee comes down. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. Okay, so left knee is forward, right? You can have a little bit of space in between the knees, so that way you're on train tracks, not such a tight rope. It's going to make it a little bit more unstable, but that is actually where we want to go, right? Everything happens around the center axis of the body. Okay, so other side. Can you rotate more on one side than the other? That's always something to think about. Make sure that front foot is, or front heel is directly underneath your front knee. Okay? And begin pressing in with your arms, rotating, working on this beautiful diagonal. Palms are going to stay facing one another, rotating through the thoracic spine, right? That's a little like where you clasp your bra or wear a heart rate monitor. That's where the rotation is happening. Good, inhaling up, squeeze glutes, keeping those hips square. Exhaling on the way back down. Last one, then we're gonna hover our knee off the floor. And tuck the back toes, good. Make sure that knee is underneath the hip, lift up. Good. Squeezing those inner hip points together. We have two more. Woo, maybe one side's a little less stable. Last one. All right, I couldn't get off that one fast enough. All right, set that off to the side. A little bit of a time check. Awesome. All right, so you're in that half kneeling. You're going to come up to stand. A little bit of a stretch. Set your feet so that way they're underneath your hips. Go ahead and tuck your chin to your chest. Feel that space opening through the back of the neck. Let your palms face your thighs. Keep them fingertips kind of touching the body. And imagine that you're rolling over a beach ball. Right? Slowly, 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 soft bend into the knees. When you get to the point where you have to take an inhale, you'll pause, hang here. Take that inhale, exhale, keep folding over your legs. Really rounding, finding space in this roll down. Pausing when you need to take an inhale before you do. As you exhale, lower yourself down. All right, now from here, we got all the way down. We got to go back up. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to scissor your inner hip points together. Push your feet through the floor. Begin to slowly roll up through the spine. Inhaling this time. When you need to exhale, you'll pause. Inhaling, roll up. Exhale, pause. Inhale, roll up. Head is going to be the last thing to come up. Shoulders rolling down the back. And that's all she wrote. I will see you guys on Wednesday for another Pilates session. Have a good weekend. Bye.